Hey there, Daniel from Pomegranate Property Management here with another video about our new rent laws that everyone is freaking out about here in New York. So today's video is about late fees, something that unfortunately many tenants deal with on a pretty regular and consistent basis. So again, I like to talk about how things were to see the difference in how things are. So prior to the new rent laws, the old laws had zero restriction for free market or non-rent stabilized properties when it came to late fees. So a landlord was free to charge as much or as little as they would like in late fees. And typically, landlords would charge late fees in two ways. So one is just a standard flat rate, $100 if you don't pay by this time on the 3rd or the 4th or the 5th. There's also something that's not so typical in New York City, but does happen around the country, and it is a daily late fee. So I know of a property management company that would charge a flat rate, so let's just say for argument's sake, $50 on the day you become late, and then $5 per day until you get current. So you could very well, in some cases, double the late fee within 1 month when you add that all up. So the old way had zero restriction for free market tenants. So for free market apartments. Now, for rent stabilized apartments, the rule was 5%. 5% of whatever the rent was. So if the rent was $400, it was 5%. If the rent was $2,400, it was 5%. That's what was generally accepted, not just by the industry, but specifically in the Rent Guidelines Board, or DHCR's paperwork and guidelines. So old law, free market apartments, a landlord could charge you whatever they want for late fees. Rent stabilized, 5%. New law, what everybody's crying about. The new law has two possibilities. One is $50 flat rate. So the late fee could be $50 or, mind you, or 5% of the rent. So the choice is now $50 or 5% of the rent. Well, you may go, well, I still got my 5%. Because it's 5% of the rent or $50, whichever is less. So what this means is pretty much if your rent as a tenant is $1,000 or less per month, you would be paying 5% of whatever that rent is. But as we all know, simple math, 5% of $1,000 is $50. So if your rent is anything above $1,000, right, you're going to be paying $50 a month in late fees. That is the absolute maximum that a landlord can charge in the state of New York, regardless of whether the property is rent stabilized or free market. The maximum late fee that a tenant can get charged as of July 2019 and the foreseeable future is $50 a month, or 5%, whichever is less, but the maximum would be $50. Or for most people, even in rent stabilized apartments, it's probably going to be $50 a month. So I hope this enlightens you as to some of these new laws. We're going to be doing a bunch of these videos just clarifying piece by piece what the changes are. But I always think it's useful to see how things were to compare to the new law. So if you have more questions, if you're a landlord and you don't want to have to deal with all this and remember these numbers and change all your leases and stay up to date, feel free to contact us at 718-770-7974. We'd be more than happy to take over the management of your property for you and make sure everything is done up to the letter of the law. If you have any other questions, feel free to visit pomegranatepropertymanagement.com, comment on this video, or on Instagram and Twitter, #PomegranateNYC, and we'd be more than happy to answer your questions. Thanks, I'll see you next time.